When I was a boy, I used to help my dad in the shop, and he would, and I would help him. So think of me as an employee in the arrangement. I might have been 7 years old, but think of me as an employee and my dad as the boss, right? And I'd be back in the shop, and he would give me his tape measure, and he'd say, Johnny, hold this over on the end of that board, or hold this over against that wall. So I'd go over and do that, and I'd be standing there feeling like an idiot, holding this thing against the wall. It wasn't that I wasn't helping him. I was helping him. I was getting a job done, and he was supervising me. Go do that for me. Yes, sir. Right? I was helping him. He needed me to do it, but I felt stupid. Like, okay, isn't this awesome, right? And I would look over at my dad, and I would see over there on the other end of the tape that he had the numbers, right? He was looking at them, and he would have pictures that he had drawn, and he would be making notes, and he would be thinking about things and making adjustments. And it struck me as a little boy that he enjoyed his work, that he was about something. I didn't know what it was, but I knew he was about something. And one day I said to my dad, Daddy, why do you always give me the dumb end of the tape? And that's what we do, my friends, when all we do is manage the work. We give our people the dumb end of the tape. Hi, my name's John Stallward, and I'm on a mission to encourage and strengthen men and women around the world who are committed to making the biggest difference they can possibly make in serving and improving the world through their leadership. Today, I want to go to fundamentals, and I'm going to speak briefly about one question. What actually is leadership? I've been paying attention for many years to the people who speak about leadership, who write about leadership, and who move into businesses and organizations to try to help them with their leadership practice. And I have learned quite a bit about what is done to strengthen leadership, what is understood about what leadership actually is, and the various strategies that people have used to try to help people get better. The purpose of my remarks today is not to critique or to analyze all of those theories and practices that are out there, but rather to tell you what I've come to see very clearly in the work that we have done at Center for Serving Leadership over the last many, many years in actually, tangibly, measurably strengthening the capacity of businesses and organizations to hit their marks. And I'm going to go right to it, right from the start. Leadership is discipleship. Now, maybe I just lost you there. I just used a word that most people associate with the Christian faith, discipleship, that process whereby one person lifts up and out of themselves and places down and into others all of the capabilities that make that first person effective. Discipleship, that process whereby someone doesn't just hand out assignments. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. Oh, do it faster. No, do it more carefully. No. Rather, that process whereby someone grows people step by step into the capacity to carry on the work without the master, without the teacher. You see, discipleship is a multiplication strategy, and it pays attention to everything that the master, everything that the leader, everything that the teacher knows, understands, cares about, thinks about, all of the skills, of course, and all of the expertise that is required. All of that is there, but pays attention specifically to the preparation of another generation of people to be able to make sure the job gets done. Here's how I think about it. I've watched this for many, many years. We have two hands in leadership. We have the left hand of management. This is making sure the job gets done. We watch people's performance. We track whether or not they are doing what they said they would do. We hold people accountable to the tasks they committed, on the time frames they committed, at the quality that they committed. And we make sure that when a promise is made by our team, by our company, to whomever, internal customers, external customers, that that promise is kept. Management, getting the work done. And by the way, management, getting the work done, is vital and important and even more interesting, all-consuming. I have never been in an organization where the left hand of management didn't require well more than 100% of the time and the energy and the focus of everybody in leadership within that organization. But here's the thing. In growing an incredible organization that brings value to the world, we have another hand, and it is the right hand of leadership. Now, what's happening over here? Over here, we're growing people. Over here, we're helping people make decisions beyond what we tell them to do on a day-by-day basis. Over here, we're transferring everything that is within us over and into them so that day by day, quarter by quarter, year by year, our people become increasingly able to do the work without being told what to do and when to do it and so forth. And so the left hand of management, vital for our performance, and the right hand of leadership, essential for our future, must go together. And leadership is that part of the equation where we are paying attention to the growth and development of our people to be ready to take over when our time is done, such that after we are gone, things are even better than when we were there. Now, I just gave you one of the definitions of leadership success. Let me state it more simply. Leadership success, in the final analysis, is my company, my team, my family, the church I lead, the nonprofit organization I lead, was even better after I was gone than when I was there at the helm. I have shared a number of times over the course of filming these videos each week my source. Let me do it again. There's a very simple story that's told in the Gospel according to John. John was one of Jesus' innermost disciples, closest disciple. He was called the beloved disciple because of the intimacy that he had, the way in which he uniquely tracked with and grasped who Jesus was and what he did and was in alignment with him. And in the book of John, in the Gospel of John, at a certain point, Jesus says to his disciples, and I'm going to paraphrase a little bit. He says, listen, guys, I don't think of you any longer as a bunch of knuckle-headed, thumb-sucking clock punchers. That's not who you are. I think of you as fellow owners in my enterprise. Now, what he actually said is, I don't think of you as servants. I think of you as friends. And he said in that same section, my Father's always working. I'm always working. And you are working. And you're going to do even cooler things than I did. He said to them, the reason I don't think of you as employees, as the people that I'm managing, go do it. Nah, that wasn't good. Do it again. The reason I don't think of you as employees is I've shown you everything. I've given you a behind-the-scenes look. I've shown you the inside. I've given you the whole picture. I'm not back there like Oz behind the curtain, hanging on to the whole picture and doling out tasks. I haven't done it that way, Jesus said. I have been showing you everything that is going on. And now we're in business together. Now you can go out and do the work without my supervision, my management, my tracking of you, my holding of you accountable. All of that now has been placed into you. I have lifted up and out of me, and I have placed down and into you everything you need for extraordinary work. And here's the thing that's really remarkable about this story and remarkable about your business. If all we are doing, this vital work, this all-consuming work of managing the tasks, if that's all we do, well, it can be just fine for a while. But a crisis is coming when we get pushed out of the picture or we grow too big and I don't have that close capacity to watch you. We hit a ceiling. It is really a ceiling of ourselves where it's no longer possible for us to grow, no longer possible for us to extend and expand because we've retained all the inner knowledge and only handed out the assignments. When I was a boy, I used to help my dad in the shop, and he would, and I would help him. So think of me as an employee in the arrangement. I might have been 7 years old, but think of me as an employee and my dad as the boss, right? And I'd be back in the shop, and he would give me his tape measure, and he'd say, Johnny, hold this over on the end of that board, or hold this over against that wall. So I'd go over and do that, and I'd be standing there feeling like an idiot, holding this thing against the wall. It wasn't that I wasn't helping him. I was helping him. I was getting a job done, and he was supervising me. Go do that for me. Yes, sir. Right? I was helping him. He needed me to do it, but I felt stupid. Like, okay, isn't this awesome, right? And I would look over at my dad, and I would see over there on the other end of the tape that he had the numbers, right? He was looking at them, and he would have pictures that he had drawn, and he would be making notes, and he would be thinking about things and making adjustments. And it struck me as a little boy that he enjoyed his work, that he was about something. I didn't know what it was, but I knew he was about something. And one day I said to my dad, Daddy, why do you always give me the dumb end of the tape? And that's what we do, my friends, when all we do is manage the work. We give our people the dumb end of the tape. And we think, and here's a wrong definition of leadership, we think that good leadership is making sure that the job gets done. Now, that's not wrong. Remember, I said the vitalness of management. Good leadership is making sure that the job gets done and growing our people. So that little by little, even if they are over there on the dumb end of the tape, they're not feeling dumb any longer because they understand the whole enterprise. They know what their part of it is. They know what our part of it is. They understand the numbers we're paying attention to. Why does that matter? Because we're preparing them to know how themselves one day to pay attention to the numbers and to understand why the work matters and to hold a standard by which the work needs to be done and to keep our promises and our trust with our workers and with our customers and with the world that we serve. Leadership is discipleship. Leadership is growing people. I want to make an offer to you that we have an extraordinary tool that we designed over many, many years. We've done this work inside the Veterans Administration and the Rail Division of Caterpillar and across the social sector in Singapore, working with hospitals and in manufacturing facilities. We've done this work in many, many construction companies and on and on and on. We've put this work into a very simple online tool. And for you who are watching this, I'm going to ask my team to cut the price of that tool in half for you watching this video. And if you're asking yourself the question, how do I move from just managing the work, getting it done, and being eternally essential to the quality, to the pace, to the expectation of the marketplace? How do I move from that to increasingly being able to get up and out of that, to be able to step back from that, to be able to give a higher level of leadership to that because my people are stepping up, stepping in? If you're asking yourself that question, this tool, this learning program that you will just do on your own, it has all the exercises, all the steps, all the pieces, all the processes that crack that code will solve for you. I'd like to give that to you at a 50% discount if you would like, so that you can move from today into more effectuality. When you click the link that I am putting below, we'll cut the price in half for you. I'm going to spend the next while unpacking what leadership is and talking about some of the most common leadership failures that undercut this process, where leaders who are actually doing pretty good work at driving excellence are stuck because they don't know how, practically, simply, in a disciplined fashion, measurably, to grow their people. I'm going to unpack this one common breakdown, one common failure at a time, and show you some simple things that you can do to crack that code, which leads you to a time coming when you can look around your enterprise and say, that part's fine without me, that part's fine without me, they are frankly better without me, I'm still in charge, but it's happening the way it's supposed to happen. I'm not constantly needing to rush in and put out fires. They've got it. And that takes you to a place of being able to extend yourself in the world more effectively. Would you do me a favor and put a like on this? This helps us, as I've said before, in YouTube world, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when I post next week, you are notified of this. And then until next week, take a look at the tools that we provide you at Center for Serving Leadership and consider ways that you can become more effective at producing great value as a wonderful manager and growing extraordinary people so that what you are doing today can multiply and scale and move out from you in service to the world.